Okay, some of you guys have not finished quiz 13, and I have some of you asking for a little bit of help because this is the stuff that we went over before the school closed, and I know it's been a while, so I decided to do a really quick lesson on part extraction 1. Okay, it's gonna be really quick. Make sure you have a copy of what I have on the board here, so you can participate and learn, so you can do the quiz. Okay? Okay. So, this is a very familiar piece of music. It's only 4 measures long. That's why I said it was going to be really quick. So you have 4 parts that you have to write for. You have to write for a soprano part, you have to write for an alto part, you have to write for a tenor part, and you have to write for a bass part. The soprano part belongs to either the violin or the trumpets. In the quiz it says trumpet or clarinet, which that's pretty much the same transposition, which we'll get to in a sec. Then your saxophone is alto part, trombone is your tenor part, and your bass is your bass part. Okay? Now, make sure that you continue to look at this paper because I've got it here and you're going to have to follow along because I'm going to bring us down to the bottom of this worksheet to do these 4 parts. Okay, let me erase this. So, we're going to give our soprano part to the trumpet. We're going to give our alto part to the alto sax. We're going to give our tenor part to the trombone. And we're going to give our bass part to the bass part. Bass part to the bass. Okay. Let me do the easy ones first. Okay. Bass reads bass clef, and the bass part is in key of F. There's no transposition. In other words, you don't change the key, you don't change the notes. You write it per note from the example, which is at the top of your paper. Okay. The key time signature is the same, and it starts on F. It goes F, C. The only thing you're going to change is stem direction, because in the example all the bass stems are down. In the example you have to follow the stem rules, which is at or below the bottom line the stem goes up. Below the middle line, the stem goes up. At or above the middle line, the stem goes down. Then you have D, and this is your choice. C sharp. Yeah, everything has to go exactly as it is in the example. So if there's a flat on it, you have to put a flat. If there's a sharp on it. Okay, that's the first measure. Second measure, G, B, stem goes up. C, stem goes up, C, stem goes up, B, stem goes up. Okay? So then the last two measures are pretty easy for the bass. So we're going to squinch these in here. So it's an A, dotted, half note, stem goes up, a B flat, and then the last measure is C, B natural, C, and then the last note is F, which is way down here, end of the bar line. That's the bass part. Trombone, same thing. The only thing you're going to have to change is the stem direction. Bass clef for the trombone is the tenor part. He will be in F. And let's see. He starts on C. He's in 4/4. Don't forget the time signature. We go C, C, A, D. First measure. Notice the stems are going down because the example tenor stems are going up, but when you bring it into one staff, you have to, for one player to read, you have to change the stem directions and follow the rule. Okay, so D, half note, then you have C, D, C, C, for the next measure. And then you have a half note C, followed by a quarter note B flat, and the last measure has A, G, and F. A, G, and F. Double R. Okay. Next I'm going to do the trumpet, because the trumpet is the next easiest to do. Trumpet reason, treble, clef. We're going to give him the soprano chord. Now, we are in F in the example, but he will read one step higher, which is the next letter in the alphabet, G. And the key of G has one sharp. Okay? Time signature is the same for everybody. Okay? Not only do you have to raise the key, but you have to raise the notes one step too. Because the trumpet is slightly longer and makes a lower sound than the piano on certain notes. On all of the notes, really, that the trumpet can play, as opposed to the piano, which can play a lot more notes than the trumpet. But the ones that he can play, it sounds lower, so you have to raise their music up higher to match the piano. So instead of F, you would, which is on your example, you put G. Instead of E, you would put F, which would be F sharp in the key, and then G again with a dot after it, and then an eighth note D. Again, notice that the stems have been turned over because soprano in the example stems are up, but when you have one staff, you have to follow the stem rules. Now B becomes, almost wrote it wrong, B becomes C in the next measure, with a dot after it. D becomes E, eighth note, and then G becomes A. Then in the next measure, he's got a lot to play here. So it's a good thing we have a little bit of room here. He's got D, and C sharp, because B natural to C is only a half step. You have to go up a whole step with the trumpet. So the B natural becomes C sharp, the C becomes D, and the D becomes E, and the C becomes D, and the F becomes G, and then you do the 4 16th notes, which is A, B, C natural, and A. Now, since half of these are below the line and rather below the line, you want to put the stems up on all of them, make sure there's 16 notes. For the last measure, 3 notes, G, F, and G. G, F sharp, G, double bar. Okay, so that's the soprano part, written up a key and a whole step the notes. Last but not least, alto sax. Alto sax is going to read the alto line. Okay, now for the key signature, he goes down 3 notes. So from F, you go backwards to E, then you go to D, then you end up at D. So they're in D. When you start at F, it's F, then E, then D. So it's the key of D, that's 2 sharps. Okay, now the notes go up 6 for this alto part. So A becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A becomes F sharp. G becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, E. F becomes D, and A goes back up to F again. So that's the first measure for the alto sax part. Then in the next measure, G goes up to E. These are 8th notes. F sharp is going to go up to D sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to leave the sharp on it. And then G becomes E. And F becomes D natural. F natural is an example. And then E becomes C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Almost done. Then, in the next measure, F becomes D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go up 6. And then D becomes B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the last measure is C, which goes up to A. Notice the stem turns around now because you're below the middle line. Okay? And then A again, G, okay, it's a B flat, so you don't do a B flat. You would do a G natural. Let's see, from C it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, for B it's 1, 2, 6. The last note is definitely F sharp. Yeah. So this does have to be G flat. All those sharps and flats carry up. Just have to worry about moving the key down 3 keys, 3 notes, 3 letters in the alphabet, and then moving the part up 6. That should be the end of part extraction 1. Take the quiz, get it in so you can get the other parts in. I'm going to have another video coming out real soon about the last section of theory, which is writing for piano part 2. And so don't do that. Don't get behind. Thanks, guys. Take care.